Reports emerging across the European sports pages have dropped a bombshell. Manchester United are reportedly ready to prepare a headline-grabbing, eye-watering Euros 100 million offer for Real Madrid's midfield dynamo Federico Valverde. And if those figures prove true, this is not just another transfer gossip, but a move with seismic implications for the entire continent. United arrive at this crossroads after a turbulent stretch of inconsistent results and growing impatience among supporters. The club's board, coaching staff and fan base all know that cosmetic signings won't do. They need a midfield identity and leadership that can change games, and Valverde, with his engine, range and ability to press and drive forward, represents precisely that rare mixture of talent and temperament. Behind the scenes, the conversation has already shifted from whether Manchester United should buy a midfielder to how they might build a deal. Whispers of a package that could include rising homegrown star Kobbie Mainoo plus cash have floated into the public sphere. A risky but dramatic strategy that would simultaneously soften the blow for Real Madrid and underline United's readiness to think in grand headline-driven terms. At Old Trafford, there is another thread pulling the picture into focus. Casemiro's future looks increasingly uncertain as the club reportedly declines to trigger automatic extension options, a decision that frees salary space and forces a recalibration of midfield structure. Whether that signals a planned generational handover or a panic buy depends on how shrewd United's recruitment team proves to be. On the touchline, Ruben Amorim has tried to play down panic, speaking to the media and attempting to steady restless supporters. But the arrival of a player like Valverde would do more than soothe nerves. It would give his side a genuine midfield metronome and a renewed blueprint to build around, especially at a club that has spent heavily and still seeks consistent identity on the pitch. Real Madrid, meanwhile, are not a club known for accepting easy sales. Federico Valverde is far from merely a squad filler. He is part of the spine of Xabi Alonso's project and is contracted long-term. So this reported Euros 100 million approach presents a high-stakes dilemma for Florentino Perez and his sporting directors: protect the squad's continuity and reject a windfall, or accept the market and potentially alter the team's balance, betting that the project has depth to withstand the loss. That dilemma becomes practical when you factor in minutes and role. If Valverde's game time were to dip under a manager's tactical shift, the door to a move could creak open, and savvy suitors like United are watching minutes as closely as transfer valuation. The human side of the saga is immediate and raw. Fans in Manchester crave urgency and a sense the club is heading somewhere. Fans in Madrid will worry about losing a homegrown leader. And a young player like Mainoo, whose name appears in speculation as makeweight, faces the prospect of being used as currency in a moment that could define his career trajectory. Financially, a Euros 100 million outlay for a midfielder is audacious but not unprecedented in modern football economics. It's a statement of intent that tells rivals and neutrals the club means to compete at the highest level and that Old Trafford is still a destination for top talent. Practically, expect a short sequence of checks: official approaches, Real's public stance, United's valuation table, and whether any swap offers get serious traction. Each step will reveal how sincere the parties are and whether this is theatre or an approaching transfer deadline train. For Amorim, a marquee arrival would buy time and credibility. For Casemiro, it would mark a possible closing chapter at United and a pivot toward his next move. For Florentino and Xabi, it is a test of squad depth and priority. Right now, the story is driven by reports and rapid rumours, but whatever the outcome, this moment is already reshaping discussion about how elite clubs rebuild, whether they tear down and reinvest or tinker and watch for confirmations, denials, and the inevitable social media frenzy because a validated Euros 100 million bid for Federico Valverde would not only headline the transfer window, it would reframe the battle for midfield supremacy across Europe and force every club with ambition to ask whether they can respond in kind.